Our next speaker is Laurent Ney. Laurent Ney is a structural engineer and architect who trained in Belgium and Germany. Since 1995, he has been a lecturer on structural engineering in Belgian universities. In 1998, Ney founded the engineering firm Ney & Partners in Brussels and Luxembourg and has satellite offices in Tokyo, Hanoi, Bordeaux, and Delft. Ney's approach to structural design is characterized by a basis on research, optimization, and form finding. So we have another form finder coming up. The search for simple construction methods and sustainability are integrated into all structural designs. Ney says he first wanted to be an aeronautical engineer and design planes when he was young and is still fascinated by gliders and planes. Minimalism and a subtractive design approach helped his bridges fly. We're looking forward to your presentation. Thank you.
So thank you for this introduction and inviting me. So I hope you are not disappointed that Philip is not Swiss. So where is he? I have also to make my coming out. I'm not Belgian. Okay, I'm Luxembourg. Anyway, let's start. Vision und Konstruktion. So I choose vision instead of construction, so I will focus on the vision. Does not work. Why? It does work. Other views, or how to escape our engineerocentrism. So I think it's important to change a little bit the point of view, taking a little bit height. We know that the objects we are designing are big objects, and you can see them in the landscape, and it's an object in the landscape. It's very difficult to tell something about the size, about the scale of this object, because also a smaller bridge can look big, or the other way around. And one of the challenges is that your design has to work on different scales. The observer that sees something in the landscape or in the city, and when you get nearer, you have another scale, and you are confronted with the materiality of the design. And you are also confronted with the haptic. You can touch it, and it's another sort of experience. And then there's a view from the bridge, there's a view to the bridge, there's a view from the bridge. And this view from the bridge gives also another sort of experience of the landscape. So the bridge becomes a new point of view, a new point of experience of the user. I was interested in other point of views, and I saw, it was 10 years ago, the work of Toshio Shibata, a Japanese photographer, which photographed infrastructure, and I was impressed by the way he looked at things that sometimes are ugly, but he found a way to look at it which is inspiring. So I contacted him, and he had a white card, he could do what he wanted, and the result was a book. It took 2 years to make this book. And his view on infrastructure, on the project we made, was really inspiring for me. And this is maybe something interesting, that we as a designer, we are in the beginning of a process. We project our thoughts in the future. And the photographer and the user is at the end. And he through the light, through the camera, he gets an impression of that. And this confrontation of the beginning at the end is, I think, something which is interesting. So this is a bridge we designed some years ago, and that's the things we see, yes, as engineers, and that's the things Toshio saw in this bridge. So something very abstract, two materials, a geometry, simple lines. Another example, this is a bridge as we see it as engineer. And this is what Toshio saw. It's a detail, it's a welding. And this welding is a sort of scarification of the surface. And yes, we always try to do something very smooth, something where also a big bridge is, yes, we are hiding the scales, or we want to hide the scales, and we want to hide the story of the construction of the bridge. And I think it is something to show. It explains it has been made by the hand, it has been constructed, ja, und dann sind wir bei Konstruktion. And it tells something, okay? It tells something about how the inner life of a bridge is. This is other example of something we did. It's a thin, mostly 12 millimeter plate thickness, steel elements, and here also you see that it has been made, welded together, and we leave it like this. We don't try to hide it. It's part of the story of the bridge, it's part of the identity of this bridge. Well, that was the artist after the work. I'm coming to the artist with the work. I was interested by the work of Thomas Heinz. It's a graphical artist from Cologne. And when you see the picture on the right side, you have a sort of positive, negative picture. So you can read the white thing as material, or you can read the black thing as material. So it works in two senses, a little bit like the drawings of Escher or also some work of Vasarely. And I always dreamed of making a bridge with Thomas Heinz. So finally we did a competition, and we asked Thomas, yes, can you do something on a triangle? And this triangle, we will rotate it, and we can make a sort of, a beam with this. Okay, that was starting point. And finally, yes, you don't see the triangles anymore. So it gets a little bit more complex. But yes, where is the bridge? It comes. Here is the bridge. So it's a very, very small bridge. It's in Ratingen, it's in Germany. And it's a Jubiläumsbrücke. It's for the 750 years of the city. So will be built end of this year, begin next year. What is interesting in that? Well, I think it's about user experience, and it's a little bit, I had to think, yes, I wanted to say the importance of scale. I did in the beginning, scale matters from structural point of view, but also from the experience point of view. And I want to show this picture. And I can remember when I was a small boy, you know, I liked to walk on the small walls, and everybody, I think, did that. And so I imagine me as a small boy passing this bridge and looking at these small creatures. You don't know what it is, and every time you pass, you see something else. And I think a child will think at home about this experience he had, and when he repasses, he sees something else. I like the fact that things are not determined, that it is open to interpretation. Well, I'm coming to south of France, in Albi. It was a painful project for us, 12 years, 2 bankruptcy of contractors, so you can imagine how difficult it was. This is a situation with it's UNESCO, historical city, heritage place. You have the Pont-Vieux. The Pont-Vieux is, in France, the oldest bridge in use. So 11th century, it's 1,000 years, and there are still cars passing on it. And we had to make a new connection on the other bridge from 1866. And this was a competition picture, and you see clearly that making the new bridge opens new perspective to the UNESCO city. And that was an argument, of course, for the for the city. But you see also that we are bundling infrastructure, and this is also something interesting. We are not building a new bridge 10 meters from the old. No, we are trying to make a sort of dialogue, to use the old bridge in combination with the contemporary bridge. And this is the view, the perspective you have with this nice framing from the existing viaduct. It is not from us, but we use it, and it works quite well. The result, yes, new views on the town also, and it is really, you see, it becomes the Ramblas of Albi. People go there in the evening and pass there. They can sit there, they can eat some sandwich or things like that. So it is used. What's also important for me, it's the view from under a bridge. We tend to forget that. A bridge normally is designed from the side, from above, and the rest is as your car. It's not so nice. So it's technical. And I think it should not be technical. What's also nice, on the left side, you see the sun coming on the brick and animated this brick. So the underside of bridge are also interesting. And here you see the reflection from the sun on the town, on the water, which animated this bridge. And for me, this bridge was a little bit like, you know, the viaduct, the old lady, and then you put a sort of jewelry, sort of necklace, and you have a dialogue between the two. So the one does not work without the other, or they reinforce themselves. Well, I'm coming back to the Pont-Vieux. It has been restored now, and I find it wonderful. And there are two things which I want to say here. One, infrastructure should not be the problem. Infrastructure makes the city possible and can be quality. And I think we have to keep that in mind, that it can be an added value and not a solving problem, infrastructural problem. First thing. Second thing, it stands there after 1,000 years. So remember the equation of Philippe. You divide it by the years. It's incredible. It's incredible, and it's an arch. Okay. Maybe we have to be critical as engineers, because today I think we have forgotten that the arch exists. And I see it in my office with my engineer, or also when I talk, we have lost the knowledge of an arch. And when you propose an arch, it's always a little bit a little bit romantic, an arch. No, it's a very efficient machine. An arch is, you cannot be more efficient. And 2,000 years long, this was the typology. before the invention of the beam. And we are in 1900. And then, yes, you know, the cars came. We had to be quick. We have to be horizontal. So the problem was the height. And then we started to build badly designed arch, but the structural system is still an arch. This is an example in Ghent, 1907. So the engineers are searching a system to span, but to be more horizontal. And I had to sort, yes, they wanted to destroy this bridge. It has been now refurbished and restored, and I think it's magnific. Okay, elevation, you have understood. So it's an arch, which is not well drawn, but it works like an arch. So you have bending moments, but you have mainly a thrust. And I had to think to this picture, this book I read when I was young, Torocha, and yeah, we are always searching to sort of, yes, finding a way through all the constraints to design something, not too high, not too low. And this is something which we struggled, they struggled, we struggling also till today. And I also had to remember to these 3 sentences of Freycinet in French and in English. What are the 3 things an engineer should do? Be able to grasp that 2 and 2 make 4. I prefer the French version. Savoir faire une règle de 3, règle des tri, because it goes also on proportion. It's elementary mathematics, but it's also something about proportion. Être convaincu que l'on ne peut pas monter au ciel en se tirant par les cheveux. So when you grasp your hair, if you have hair, so you must be, but deeply sure that you cannot get in the sky, in the heaven. And finally, the last one, so the second one, the first one is about proportion and mathematics. Second one is about physics, about understanding statics. The third one, then if you design a hook, or you have to make a nail in the wall to put you how to call that? Your hat, yes. It should not be too high, not too low, not too much to the right. So that's it's good sense. It's yes. And these things, nearly 100 years later, are still, I think, correct. I want to explain 2 things about this bridge. It's also in Ghent, and this is also an arch which is not well drawn, because we are taking up, yes, we are taking up the horizontal forces there. And this is a sketch I made during the competition. That was a little bit the idea. Some things changed, but what did not change is this. Under self-weight, you are isostatic, okay? And under overlast, you are fixed here and you are taking the thrust. So these things are interesting. I want to tell also something about the competition we did in Germany, in Stuttgart. Of course, we lost, but that's normal. But that's not important. It's the same system, okay? You see here that the horizontal efforts are taken up here. So we are a little bit later, 28, but still the engineers struggle to take up this effort. And I think, beautiful plan, 70 meters, something like that. So it's quite a big span. And 3 minutes, wow, I have to be quicker. Well, what I want to say is um, the cost lies in the foundation because we have to take up horizontal forces. And what we try to do is to keep the system. So the immaterial heritage is the typology, and we try to do a modern version of this typology. But finally, a normal bridge wants this competition slender. Well, I will go quickly. Yes, about flying bridges. I will go quickly because, yes, keeping in mind how you will construct is really something which is typical for bridge engineering. I want to show you a film. Why? Because I asked 3 artists, but really artists, very conceptual, to make a film. So they did a film about this bridge. Okay. How does it work now? It works. So, thank you.
I think we got a little over time, but I think we have time for one question.
Thank you so much. I apologize for my engineering question. How did you calculate that footbridge, the small one with the graphical artist?
Excuse me, I didn't hear.
The calculations, how did you do it with the footbridge that you designed with the graphical artist? Or is it just decoration? I mean, this...
It's a bearing railing, so it takes up mainly shear forces.
Okay, thank you. I have to think about it.
It's not the first time we are doing these things, but geometry is a little bit more complex, yes.
Any more, one more short question?
To answer your question, also 16 meters is not a problem. We are doing this bridge is till 30 meters. When it over 30 meters, it's a little bit tricky, but till 30 meters, no problem.
Thank you very much.